Hey everyone, editing Noah here. This video took a really long time due to some technical issues, so this is an official warning that there will be some flickering lights in this specific one because of certain webcam issues that I'm not even aware of right now. Anyway, please enjoy the video. I thought it was still very fun, so please give it a watch. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night wherever in the world you are. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Noah MP3 as always, and once again we've got another episode of the Banlist Show today with today a new guest. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr. Chef Husky, the GOAT.
How's it going, everyone? I am Chef Husky. I'm happy to be here.
Is that all? I was guessing you would say something about your own content and stuff. Go ahead. This is your self-promo. Go for a self-promo. No, don't go.
All right. Yeah, I do a whole lot of rogue decks. I do a lot of silly things. You basically, if it brings me joy, I'm gonna make a video about it. I'm very much, I'm an anti-meta kind of player. Like you won't see me playing a lot of the, the things that you see on the top 10 lists. It's always going to be some variation of something silly that other people won't even consider most of the time.
Yeah. If you want a personal recommendation from me, go watch the Chandler Time video. That one is fucking amazing. I love that one so much.
Chandler.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so the idea for today is, Mr. Husky, I'm going to show you 10 cards from all over the Pokemon TCG's past. Like, I don't know how far your knowledge reaches back from the standard we have now, but from what you've said, I don't think it reaches back that far. So I'm going to show you all cards ranging from that are standard now to released in literally the first generation of Pokemon. And I want you to kind of like try and analyze the card, give it a score based on like from a scale from 1 to 10, how good the card actually is in the current format that we have right now, where we can use the Eternal format, which is a format where every single card released is legal minus a very specific ban list. So all the way from base set to, what's the set called right now? Journey Together. Yeah. I had to think for a little bit. Yeah.
My memory goes back as far as Rebel Clash. That's when I started playing.
Okay.
I do have a little bit of knowledge about like base set, or like whatever was in like the Game Boy Color game, because I played that quite a bit. That's about all I know.
And there might be we might be starting off with a very interesting card that you might recognize. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, here you go.
All right, we got Misty's Wrath. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose 2 of those cards and put them in your hand. Discard the rest. Well, you want me to just like talk about like how I think it would do in standard, or how it would do in the Eternal format?
I would say in Eternal format. Yeah. Obviously, you don't know how the Eternal format is fully shaped up yet, of course, but like you can talk about what you feel like about the general strength of the card. Your first ideas about it.
I think this is probably a lot stronger than we think. Because like my most current comparison to that would be Hassle, which is when a Pokemon is knocked out, you can choose 2 of your top 8. But this doesn't have that caveat. This has, just take 7 cards, choose 2, discard the rest. I imagine this would be very good.
I mean, Hassle doesn't,
Hassle
doesn't discard though, right?
Hassle doesn't discard, it reshuffles. But I would imagine this is very good, especially for decks that like having stuff in the discard. That would be my guess. I would say probably 7 or 8.
7 or 8. And do you think this card would be banned in the Eternal format, yes or no?
I wouldn't think so. I don't think it's like broken kind of good. Unless there was another card out there that makes it extra broken. Alright,
I'm gonna lock that answer in.
Okay.
And I want you to reread what the card says at the top. What does it say? What kind of card is this?
It's a trainer. Not even a supporter. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is an item card. This is an item card. This is Explorer's Guidance, but seeing +1 card. And it's on an item card. This card is hella banned. This card is so broken.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even look for the supporter title on there. Christ.
No, you just assumed seeing the power level, which is very valid. But I got you on this one. Hell yeah.
Alrighty, yeah. Okay, no. I can see it. I can see.
I think as supporter, this probably would be fine in the Eternal format. It probably would be fine. And
it would still be strong.
I think back when this was like standard legal, I don't think this was that broken, honestly. Because back then, the the card game was more or less built also kind of managing with resource management. There were not many easy ways to close out games fast. So it was kind of like more resource management, less insane draw. So the card was okay back then, but not that great. But with how the power creep has gone and how much faster the game has gotten, yes, no, this card is disgusting.
That's very strong. Yeah, if not for, if he was a supporter, it would be broken already, but even more so. Good lord.
Yeah, I don't think it would be ban-worthy if it were a supporter, but yeah.
Yeah.
It would still be really, really good, yeah. Alright. Get ready for the next card. I think you do know this next card that I'm going to show you, because this one is legal in Standard right now.
Okay.
Here you go.
Tatsugiri EX. I love this guy.
He does know him.
Pump, 100 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so it's a shred attack. And then we got Cinnabar Lure. Look at the top 10 cards of your deck. You may put any number of Pokemon you find there onto your bench. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. I know it's not banned in Standard. I don't know if it's banned in the Eternal format, though. I couldn't think of anything that would cause it to be banned, unless there was like another card out there that just absolutely breaks this one. So my guess would be this is also a 7 and not banned.
A 7? Ooh. Okay, spicy. Because, like, I would say this card is like a 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 in Standard right now. So you do think it's a lot better in Eternal then?
I would imagine that there are a lot of better options that it can take advantage of in Eternal.
Yeah. And do you think, like, options more in the ways of getting this out more consistently, or the mons, just the quality of the Pokemon you can grab from this?
I would think that there were a lot more, like, you know how like we have reversal in the current format, like special energies that can get Cinnabar Lure more consistently than we have now.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't name any of them, but I would imagine it's a lot easier to get Cinnabar Lure off, and I would imagine there's a lot better Stage 2 options that it can take advantage of.
Okay. So you also think this one is not banned in Eternal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's stronger than it is now, though.
You're entirely right on that, but this card is indeed also banned in Eternal format.
Is it?
Yes, and there's two main reasons for this. First and foremost, getting turn 1 Cinnabar Lure is not hard at all, because of the card that I'm sending you right now, for context, Double Dragon Energy.
Can only be attached to a Dragon Pokemon. This card provides every type of energy, but only provides 2 at a time, which when it's attached to a Dragon Pokemon. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
So with turn 1 Double Dragon Energy and Sparkling Crystal, you can just attack with Tatsugiri EX turn 1. And the crazy thing is, this is really consistent because you just need 1 Colress's Tenacity to grab yourself a Double Dragon Energy and then a Town Store, and then Town Store can grab your Sparkling Crystal. It's kind of crazy how easily, if you just go second and you have Tatsugiri EX in active, you just need to play Colress and like not price the things that you need, I guess, but...
Sheesh.
Yes, that's a really, really consistent Cinnabar Lure. Like, in Standard, people try these things with like Crispins and Melas and stuff. And that's just, like, having to rely on a supporter like that is really inconsistent.
What stage does it have access to?
I'm actually not going to show you any Pokemon that you have access to, because the other reason why Tatsugiri EX is really, really good, or like is actually like low-key ban-worthy in Eternal format, is because usually when you play Tatsugiri EX decks, you kind of start to get those stage 2 Pokemon stuck in your hand, and you're like, I want you to be in the deck, but I really want to grab, just want to have other cards from my deck and not these stupid stage 2 Pokemon that I'm going to try and grab for my Tatsugiri, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But in the Eternal format, or like, I guess this tech card is technically also expanded legal, there is actually a card that kind of solves your problem like that a lot. I just send it over to you right now, Pokemon Communication.
Pokemon Communication. Reveal a Pokemon from your hand and put it into your deck. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle.
Yeah, so if you use that, So like, for example, let's say you have like a Pidgeot EX in your hand, and turn 1, and you have the Tatsugiri play, and you're like, damn, I really want to get this like Pidgeot EX that's in my hand. I want to get that like somewhere in my deck. You can play Pokemon Communication to shuffle that Pidgeot back and like grab another Pokemon. You don't even have to grab another Pokemon. You can also just fail it and like, reshuffle. So you have another chance to grab the Pidgeot EX. And actually, the third part why this is actually low-key ban-worthy is because deck manipulation, like manipulating your own deck, there's a lot more tools for that in Eternal than there is for Standard. Like a lot more. I'm not gonna go into that whole rabbit hole of how consistently you can deck manipulate yourself, but there's a lot of different routes you can take with that. So those 3 factors specifically combine to why Tatsugiri EX kind of has a perfect storm for itself in Eternal, and why this card was indeed banned. I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks after Surging Sparks came out. That's what the expansion of this came out in, right? Yeah, it is Surging Sparks. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Tatsugiri EX, our goat. I wish he was better in Standard, man. I wish he were better in Standard.
I wish he was too. But like I tried doing a Mamoswine build recently with Tatsugiri EX.
That's really cool.
Didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to.
I mean, it never works out in Standard, unfortunately. It never does. But it does in Eternal. Well, not anymore, because it's banned. Sad.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the most similar card to this Pokemon Communication I can think of is, I think it's Perrin, the supporter.
Oh yeah, it's just like, because Perrin is like a double Pokemon Communication, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a supporter, so that's like infinitely worse. Especially if you want to play that Colress with the Tatsugiri.
For sure. Yeah.
Alright. I am 2 for 2 this one. Nice. Okay, let's see if you get like a singular card right this video, because I'm starting to doubt it more and more. We'll see. Well, I swear I'm not trying to make it too hard for you. Like I just picked like 10 cards that I think would be interesting to discuss. So here you go. Here's your third one. This is from the 4th generation of Pokemon. So this card came out in 2012.
Smeargle Portrait. Once during your turn before your attack, if Smeargle is your active Pokemon, you may look at your opponent's hand. If you use a supporter card you find there and use the effect of that card as the effect of this power, this power can't be used if Smeargle is affected by a special condition. And then we got Tail Wrap, 20 damage, flip 2 coins. This attack does 20 damage times the number of hits. Okay, so I'm assuming the attack is not relevant.
Oh, no. I don't think I've ever seen this Smeargle use Tail Wrap, ever.
Gotcha.
And I've been playing the TCG for a long time.
So we're just focusing on the ability here, so...
It's not an ability, though. It's not an ability.
Pokepower, sorry.
Which is actually relevant, sometimes.
So that means that things like Frostlass wouldn't be able to affect it, right?
Correct. And things like, I don't know if you're familiar with Garbotox and Garbodor. That's kind of an iconic card in Expanded right now.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it has an ability that if it has a tool attached, then no Pokemon in both players' hands, discard pile, and deck have no ability.
Oh.
So it just shuts down. It just straight up shuts down abilities. Like, it's a stage 1 that needs a tool attached, so you can still like remove the tool for counterplay. But this is not an ability, so that it would be relevant for those. But there's of course also ways to shut down Pokepowers.
Yeah.
Just lesser, because there's been lesser generations with Pokepowers.
So this thing can look at your opponent's hand and use a supporter card as the effect, but that's your ability. That's your Pokepower, sorry.
Yeah.
And you can still use a supporter for turn, right?
Correct. You can even use multiple Smeargles per turn if you manage to switch.
I would think that's pretty bannable, because there was an Oranguru that I think just rotated out that has something similar to that, and I remember that being pretty strong for just an attack. And that was an attack, not a power. So I would say let's go with yes, it is banned.
It is banned. What would you give this on a scale from 1 to 10? What kind of score?
I would think 8.
An 8, okay. I think your scoring is honestly pretty spot on. Because this card, Smeargle, came out in Undaunted, which is like the middle of 2012. It was like the expansion right before Worlds. So like the most recent expansion that would be legal for Worlds 2012. This card was in the first place, the second place, the third place, the fourth place, and the sixth place in the top 8. Specifically, yeah. Specifically because in that specific meta, the only supporters that were played during that time were specifically draw supporters. So you could very consistently just have a Pokepower for you that says like, okay, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, I draw cards. I draw a bunch of cards. So that was really, really nice. But as the game progressed and got older and older, supporters started to get more unique effects, especially like played supporters. Supporters already had unique effects, but since we're more and more getting into the game being like, oh, Pokemon have abilities to draw stuff and we have items to draw stuff, not all our supporters actually draw us cards anymore that we usually run. Which is kind of funny. I've recently, this kind of reveals that the card is actually not banned. Recently, I've seen an internal match where Smeargle was played turn 1. Smeargle was the only Pokemon on the board, and the Pokepower portrait hit Turo as the only legal target, and that player immediately lost the game. It was hilarious.
Wait, so does it Turo yourself or does it Turo your opponent?
It Turos yourself. You just copy
your stuff.
You use one of your.
To use it.
You have to use. You don't have an option to not use it. So that's the major downside for it. You don't have an option to not use it. So if you have like a stacked hand and you portrait and you get like a research or something, then you're like, yeah, well, fuck, my hand's gone.
Oh, that's rough.
With the example that I said, like you Turo and you straight up lose the game because Smeargle was the only mon in play.
That's actually kind of hilarious.
It is really funny. Yeah, so Smeargle is not banned. I would say this was a pretty strong card back in the day when supporters were more straightforward. But as the game is getting more and more complex, I would say this card is getting more, let's say, more and more niche. The Pokepower is still technically very powerful, but it's a lot more inconsistent nowadays, I would say.
Dang, I'm over 3, man.
Over three. But there's 10 cards in this video. Don't worry, you'll get like at least one right. I'm certain of it. I'm certain.
We'll see.
I'm certain. All right. Are you ready for your 4th cards? I'm going to show you another colorless Pokemon, but this one is even older. This is from the Fire Red Leaf Green expansion, 2004.
Oof. All right. Pidgeot with Quick Search. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may choose one card from your deck and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. You can't use more than one Quick Search Pokepower each turn. This power can't be used if Pidgeot is affected by a special condition. And then there's Clutch for 40 damage. Defending Pokemon can't retreat until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it does what our current Pidgeot does as a single prizer. For 100 HP, and it's a Pokepower, not an ability. So anything that shuts down abilities would not work on this. I would imagine this is banned, right? Because it's like our current Pidgeot, but better in every way. No retreat cost.
Is it better in every way? Because of course, yes, it is not a two-prizer, but it also has a lot less HP.
A lot less HP. And it's got retreat lock too.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Yeah, and not all the cards are easy to evaluate.
Yeah, I'm just like doing it based on like what I know about Standard today.
Yeah.
And so, could you, in theory, double this up with our current Quick Search?
Yes, you could. Because this says you can't use more than one Quick Search Pokepower each turn. And Pidgeot EX says that you can't use this Quick Search ability more than once per turn. So you could, but you would have to set up 2 stage 2s, of course. Two different
but
ones.
I mean, that shouldn't be too hard to do when you got a Quick Search already.
I mean, you're not wrong. But do you really want to commit like 2 pieces of your boards to just search?
Absolutely. You know, being able to search out 2 cards every turn, that's insane. That's so strong. I'm gonna go with yes. This has got to be banned. This has got to be like a strong 8 or 9.
Strong 8 or 9. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're going over 4, man. This card is not banned.
Man.
Yeah, you are right. This is a really strong Consistency-mon, and this card is actually the reason why Pidgeot EX sees zero play in Eternal format, because everyone just runs regular Pidgeot. But I also kind of baited you earlier by saying that abilities can be turned off, but Poke Powers also can be turned off. And don't get me wrong, Pidgeot is kind of a card that ebbs in and out of the meta specifically because of the existence of this card that I'm going to send you right now, which kind of hard counters Pidgeot.
Battle Frontier. When you play a discard, if another stadium comes into play, each player's colorless evolved Pokemon, dark evolved Pokemon, and steel evolved Pokemon can't use any Poke Powers or Poke Buddies.
Yeah, so it's kind of turning into a cycle like, okay, Pidgeot sees a lot of play, people are going to tech in Battle Frontier, Pidgeot sees a lot less play, people are going to stop teching in Battle Frontier, Pidgeot sees more play. It's kind of like that. It's a very relevant card in the meta right now, but so is Battle Frontier. So it's kind of like a gamble game of like, okay, are we in a Battle Frontier heavy meta game or not specifically? This is not necessarily the only answer for Pidgeot. There's another card that I'm not going to show that also turns off Pidgeot's Poke Power. But yeah, there is counterplay to this Pidgeot, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Which Loki, don't get me wrong. I probably should have said this at the start of the video, but the Eternal formats, they just like the expanded format have kind of a mindset where they only want to ban stuff if it's actively breaking the game. They don't necessarily want to ban stuff if it's like really, 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 really good. Only if it's like actively breaking the game, like Tatsugiri EX was, and like Misty's Wrath was. I don't think Misty's Wrath has ever been legal for Eternal, now that I think about it. Because Eternal was made around the time that the expanded format was made as well. So like when Black and White sets started rotating out. So yeah, no, I don't think Misty's Wrath has ever been legal. That was not the question though. Pidgeot, really strong cards, not ban worthy. Insane consistency piece, don't get me wrong. I think your rating is spot on. This is like a very strong 9. But of course, the fact that it's also stage 2, like it has all its downsides with it. But yeah, no, this card sees active play in the metagame right now in several decks. So your analysis was not that off. So I would say like you basically got it. You just thought it was ban worthy, which was like your biggest mistake there.
I mean, here I'm thinking like our current Dusknoir is ban worthy, Dragapult is ban worthy. I'm hearing arguments for Budu. I don't actually think Budu is ban worthy, but I mean like I am like
you want to hear fun
on
fact?
The side of banning most of the time.
You want to hear fun facts? Dragapult EX and Dusknoir are actually banned in Eternal.
Is it?
Yeah, they are banned in Eternal.
Good.
Good, yes. Yeah, no, Dragapult was so fucking broken. When Dragapult released, this is a funny side story, I guess I can tell it. But when Dragapult EX released in Twilight Masquerade, it like, not even with Sparkling Crystal necessarily, because that came out in Stellar Crown, of course, but even before Stellar Crown released with Sparkling Crystal, Dragapult EX was basically the BDIF by far. Usually in Eternal, there's like 2 or 3 decks that are like S tier, and then there's like a kind of like 10 decks that are like tier 1 or something. But Dragapult was like S tier. It was like the deck, like everyone was either playing it or playing to hard counter it, which it's unlike anything we've seen in the past. I want to say like 6 years in Eternal. So it might not necessarily have been ban worthy specifically, but just because it warped the entire format around it, it was banned there and then, and it might be unbanned in the future. I have no idea if that's in the talk shift or no. I really hope not, because I really like Eternal without Dragapult.
Yeah, but I mean, like you showed me that double dragon energy, and that immediately tells me like
yeah, exactly, double dragon energy. That's all she wrote. You don't even need to know anything else. That's
yeah.
Honestly, this might just be a showing of that double dragon energy should be banned and not all those other things.
You know,
maybe that's a conversation for another day. I don't know. It feels really balanced on other Pokemon. It just doesn't feel balanced on specifically those 2 Pokemon, Tatsugiri and Dragapult.
So is Drago V-Star also banned, or is that
Yes, Regidrago V-Star is also banned.
Gotcha.
But that's not because of Dragapult. It's because of other broken dragons.
I would imagine.
Yeah. There's like there's there's a Dialga GX, or there was, I should say that there was a Dialga GX from Unified Minds, because that one's also banned right now. That has the same it has like the same V-Star power as Dialga V-Star, the origin Dialga V-Star, but it's like on a GX attack, and it's a dragon type, so you can copy that with Regidrago to just go turn 2, time skip to take another turn. It was fucking broken. Yeah, dude, that was so fucking broken. That is, by the way, still legal and expanded right now. the Regidrago Dialga combo is legal, and it's like BDIF because of it.
And Drago has access to like ADP and all that.
I don't think ADP is that good on Regidrago specifically.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's too slow. Like, I would say for expanded, it's too slow, because if you just go for the time skip and then like another huge dragon attack, you're already so far ahead that you don't really need the turn to set up with ADP. Which feels crazy to say, but like, yes, ADP does not see that much play in expanded. Crazy, I know.
that is a surprise to me.
It is yeah. To be fair, I think expanded and Eternal have a very different sort of like state of mind when it comes to balancing the game, because expanded is of course like balanced by the Pokemon Company International, and they are very, 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 very scarce with their bans. They only ban something if they think if they know already, or if they think something is just going to absolutely break the game. But Eternal kind of wants to also have that same philosophy, but not necessarily to like break the game. They're a little less strict on that. They're just like, okay, this is just really, really strong at format warping. Not necessarily breaking the game, but format warping. That's kind of like the difference here. So Eternal does actually end up being a little bit slower than expanded, weirdly enough, even though there's more cards. But it's not that much slower. It's like slower by like a turn or 2.
Gotcha.
All right,
a turn or 2 can make all the difference, though.
Yeah, true. That was a lot of yapping about just one card, by the way. That's okay.
Oh, you're fine.
I think the people like the yap sessions in between. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you like the yap sessions or not. Validate me, please. Okay.
Go up and get to the next one.
Yeah, let's go to card number 5. Here you go. This card is from the Sun and Moon era.
Delelba and Bryson Man. Discard 3 cards from the top of each player's deck. When you play this card, you may discard 3 other cards from your hand. If you do, each player discards their benched Pokemon until they have 3 Pokemon. Your opponent discards first. Holy
Disruption.
Yeah, that is a mill of 3. Discard 3 other cards from your hand. If you do, they discard until they have 3 left. So it's kind of like a little bit like Glamora EX. Do I think this is bannable though? It's a supporter. It's a tag team supporter. I wouldn't think this is bannable.
You don't think so?
I think it's strong. I think it's very, very disruptive. I think, you mill 3. It costs a lot to make it work. You have to mill 3 of your own and have them discard until they have 3 bench Pokemon left, and so do you. So you only get 3 bench
for the
Pokemon
mill
as well.
part of the cards, you don't have to discard other cards though, right?
Yeah, right. I'm going to say it's a 6, and I'm going to say it's not banned.
You're going to say it's not banned. Okay, cool. Gotcha. I'm going to lock that in, but I want to see if you change your mind if I show you discard.
Tag call. Search your deck for 2 tag team cards, reveal them and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. Okay, that is very good. That can easily search this out with an item. I'm still gonna stay where I'm at though.
You're still gonna stay where you're at?
Yeah.
All right, that's unfortunate because Belova and Bryson Man is indeed banned in Eternal. It is not banned in Expanded because, of course, it's way too slow for Expanded. But in Eternal, this is a really, really gross card. Because I just want to preface this by saying it's not that hard to get pretty big hands in Eternal format. There's been a lot of cards in the history of the Pokemon TCG that draw cards. So obviously, drawing cards is not that hard. But oftentimes you don't even need to draw extra cards. This card is so gross. You can run 4 of them. If you run like several Pel Pets, you can technically have more copies of this. It's disgusting, this card. And it's mostly actually because of the secondary effect. The mill part is like, yes, it can close out some end games for you, but the second part is really, really backbreaking for some decks specifically. Because like you mentioned Glimora EX. Glimora EX is of course a permanent aura unless it's moved out of the active spot. So that technically has counterplay. Like, okay, I can bench other Pokemon again if I move this out of the active spot. Or if it's like a stadium that limits you, you're like, okay, I just need to bump the stadium and then I can play things again. But with this card, you never know when you're going to get hit by it. So you're always, if you know you're playing against a control deck that runs this card, you're like, okay, so I need to bench Pokemon, but I can't really go over Tree, because if I go over Tree, they just Balella Bryson Man me, and then I have to discard one of them. There's like no counterplay to this, so to say. And that's the main reason this is banned specifically. In my opinion, it was not necessarily ban worthy, but this is a card that I think if I showed it to other Eternal players, it would kind of like infuriate them the way Dragapult EX infuriates you. So,
what?
So
totally
Eternal has a lot of bad memories about this card. It's not necessarily a very fun card to play against, because cycling supporters is not that hard in Eternal. So I've seen games where this card was played like 10 times.
Yikes.
Yeah, so, yeah. To be fair, this was a really, really hard one to evaluate, so I don't blame you for getting this wrong. I think everyone would have gotten this wrong. But since we're now halfway through the video, I'm going to have...
You did throw me a lifeline.
I'm not going to throw you a lifeline. We're going to have a little bit of an intermezzo. So I do this for all my recent contestants. I would say co-hosts at this point, not even contestants. Okay. I do a little research on which card version of your favorite Pokemon was actually like the best, or is like the best. So I've done this for Shady J and Corviknight, and I've also done it right now for you. And I went ahead and researched what the best Munchlax card was ever. Now, Munchlax didn't really have a bunch of I would say... Okay, sorry, let me rephrase this. Munchlax did not have very many cards printed in the past. I think like 4 or 5 in total, which is unfortunate because it's a really cute mon. But there is actually one Munchlax card that still sees play to this day in Eternal. Not very much, but some decks occasionally play this card, which I was surprised by, because it kind of skipped my mind. But here you go. It's the one from Unified Minds.
Search.
Yeah.
I've seen this one before. Once during your turn before you attack, you may flip a coin. If heads, put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. If you use this ability, your turn ends. Yeah, okay, so obviously this mon's not like broken or anything, but it's like a 60 HP Munchlax is better than like the 30 HP babies. It has free retreats, which is really nice. But this specifically sees play as like a 1 or 2 of in stall decks. Because they usually don't need their attacks. If they've got you like retreat locked or whatever, you can just use his ability. You don't even have to do it from active. You could just do it from your bench. If you're like, okay, I don't really have an attack that I want to use this turn, I'll just use Snack Search to end my turn as my pseudo attack. And if I don't flip heads, that's fine. But if I do flip heads, that's like a huge tempo advantage for next turn. Yeah, I think that's actually better than a lot of babies we have in format right now.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's better than Badu, but...
Well, yeah.
But that's a different story, of course.
Yeah, Badu is its own caliber.
Its own monster, so to say.
Just waiting for the Mega Badu EX coming out.
Mega Badu EX, 3 prizes. It's just 40 HP. And just the same mon. Oh my god. Alright. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because this Munchlax card usually sees play in deck that run block Snorlax. So it's just funny to see both Munchlax and Snorlax on the field. Like, even though the one cannot evolve into the other, it's still funny to see.
That is pretty funny. It's like Munchlax stall. Ugh, I didn't like that at all.
Lax stall, baby. Let's go. No, Lexstall is low-key a little bit gross, but there's plenty of counterplay for it in Eternal, so... Like, if you lose to that deck, it's just a skill diff, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, right. I mean, I haven't lost to Snorlax in a while either.
I mean, of course, it's rotated.
Well, I mean, when it was a thing.
Yeah, okay, fair. Fair. Alright, are you ready for card number 6? I'm gonna show you another baby Pokemon.
Okay, sure.
Here you go. It's Pichu.
Pichu. 30 HP. Sweet sleeping face, Pokebody. As long as Pichu is asleep, prevent all damage done to Pichu by attacks. And then Playground. Each player may search his or her deck for as many basic Pokemon as he or she likes. Put them onto their bench and shuffle his or her deck afterwards. You put your Pokemon on the bench first. Pichu is now asleep. That's got to be banned, right? It puts itself to sleep, and then as long as it is damage attacks. Well, I mean, maybe not. Maybe not, because I mean,
it doesn't just fill your bench. Your opponent can also fill their bench with this. It says each player may search.
Okay. Yeah.
I figured you read over this, judging from how you responded to this.
Yeah, that's a strong attack regardless, but it does help your opponent set up too.
We also call this attack Double Trolley.
Double Trolley, gotcha. But in between turns, you can just wake up though.
Is it true?
So, and also as a baby Pokemon, it is susceptible to like Monkey Dory. I'm gonna go with no. It's not bad.
Not bad. And what would you rate this from 1 to 10?
I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
Just because of how much it helps your opponent too.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm here to say to you that Pichu from the Hard Gold Soul Silver era, released in 2010, is the first card you got entirely right.
Cool.
Go ahead and give yourself an applause. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Pichu is a very, very cool card. I think this is low-key one of my favorite cards that currently sees play in Eternal, because yes, it sees play. I would say the rating of 6 is very, very accurate. Because, like you mentioned, you can wake up from sleep going into your opponent's turn, so there's a 50% chance that you're immune from attacks. This card is not necessarily widely played, but some players really like playing this because it kind of creates a mind game with your opponents, in the sense like, okay, if they know if I bench Pichu, then they might hold off on searching, using their Pokemon search to bench their Pokemon. Then maybe they're gonna wait until I Playground, maybe not. It's kind of a mind game in that sense, which I really, really like about this card. Because if your opponent's like fully set up and you use his attack, it's like incredibly goated. It's so good. It's like Call for Family for like 5 months or more.
Yeah, that's wild. That is a very strong baby Pokemon.
Yeah, so it creates a lot of mind games, which I really, really like. But since the card is technically double-sided, as in your opponent can technically also benefit from this, it is not ban-worthy at all. But yeah, it's a really cool card nonetheless.
Yeah, I like it. I like that it's got its free attack as well as its ability, or Pokebody.
Yeah, and a free retreat. It's like the true baby experience.
For sure.
Yeah, I like this card a lot more than Badu.
I would think so too.
Do you think this would be ban-worthy if it were in Standard right now?
No, because of how many decks play Monkey Dory.
Yeah, fair. Monkey Dory doesn't really see that much play in Eternal, so that does help for Pichu. But there's other ways to just ping this or like bench snipe this or whatever.
Yeah, Hobbs is Ashian right now.
Oh yeah. I wish someone would pick up that. I think Hobbs Ashian EX has like potential in Eternal, but I don't think anyone's like looked into it yet, unfortunately. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should make some waves. Alright, are you ready for card number 7?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna send you another card that's in Standard right now, but you might have never seen this card before. Because it doesn't really see play in Standard.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think Snipe the Bench did a deck with this like last week.
Oh, true. That's right. I made this list like a lot of time before he did. I forgot that he actually posted about Bronzong. That's right.
Yeah. I didn't look at the video yet, but let me see. Evolution Jammer. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their Pokemon. Okay. Do I think it's banned in Eternal format?
Yeah, that's the whole
30
question.
damage, no evolution. That sounds good, but I mean, I don't think it's game-breakingly good. I'm gonna go with no, it's not, and I'm gonna give it a 5.
You're gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Oh my god. I think I would agree with you on the 5 out of 10, but this card is hella banned. Hella banned in Eternal, because Salvatore exists, so you can turn 1 Bronzong to permanently lock your opponent out of the game. Out of evolving ever. Like, there's...
I mean, that's true for the current format, too.
Correct. That is true. I don't know why no one's doing this. Actually, it's standard. maybe we should be doing this. Just run 4 Salvatore, 4 Bronzor, 4 Bronzong. And like 20 Psychic Energy.
That could be.
And they just lose to Raging Bolts. That's the whole thing, of course. Like, if you're against a big basic deck, you just hard lose with this. But if you're against an evolution deck while playing this, you're like, you feel like you're the GOAT. So it creates very, very polarizing matchups, which is, of course, not very fun gameplay, nor for the player, nor the player who plays against this. The thing is, because this is specifically on an attack and not like an ability or a Pokepower or anything, there's no counterplay to it other than them finding a way to knock out Bronzong or gusting it away and then praying it doesn't get to the active next turn. And that's not very fun gameplay loop, in my opinion. And a lot of people's opinion, hence why this card and similar cards to it are banned in Eternal.
I getcha. I can see that. I can see that. I kind of hate Bronzong as a Pokemon to begin with, but
that's fair. That's fair. Everyone has that like one Pokemon that they really hate.
For me, it's Probopass. That's my
oh my god.
bottom
how
ranked Pokemon.
How can you hate on that golden stash?
Bruh, I hate it.
You hate
it? Terrible. It's the worst design out of all 1,025 designs.
For me, it's actually also another Gen 4 evolution. It's Togekiss for me.
Really?
Yeah, because Togekiss, fun side story. For anyone who didn't know, I played a lot of VGC in singles before I like fully transitioned into TCG. I used to do like all of those together, like occasionally. And I was doing really well in like a Smogon tournament. I got to like finals, and I was in like multiple game-winning positions, but then air/flinching Togekiss scammed me out of the win.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. It's haunting me to this day. That's like the first instance of Togekiss betraying me, and then it was also really good in VGC in Gen 8, and I'm like, I just hate Smon.
That's kind of similar to how my opinions about Graveler came about. It was my first shiny ever, and it's self-destructed.
Oh, the classic self-destruct. Oh, that's so terrible. Have you recovered?
I do have one now, yeah.
Okay, good for you. Slay. Alright, are we ready for our next Pokemon?
Let's do it.
Alright, the next Pokemon unintentionally is also a Steel and Psychic type in the Pokemon games, but it has a different typing in the card game than the Bronzong.
Okay. Jirachi. I thought it was pure Steel.
No, Jirachi is Steel Psychic in the Pokemon games, but it's often Steel type in the TCG, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I don't know why I could swear it was just pure Steel. Alright, we got Pokepower Wishing Star. Once during your turn, if Jirachi is your active Pokemon, you may look at 5 cards of your deck, choose one of them and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. Jirachi and your other active Pokemon, if any, are now asleep. This power can't be used if Jirachi is affected by a special condition. Then we got Metallic Blow, 20 damage for a metal and a colorless. If the defending Pokemon has any Pokebodies, this attack does 20 damage plus 30 more. Okay. So I'm assuming that the Metallic Blow is not really relevant here. We're just looking at the Pokepower.
I mean, it was relevant when this released, but nowadays, of course, no.
Hmm. Gotcha. Okay. Take the 5 cards of your deck. Choose one of them. Put them in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. Jirachi and your other active Pokemon, if any, are now asleep.
Yeah, so why the wording on that is different is because in Generation 3, they were kind of foolproofing for a format where you had 2 active Pokemon, a separate format where you had 2 active Pokemon and then 4 bench Pokemon. And then you could do 2 attacks and have like 2 different targets. Because they tried to make doubles work, because they made doubles in the game, so they also tried to make doubles in the TCG. It never really caught on, unfortunately. So that's why it says that Jirachi and your other active Pokemon are now asleep after you use it.
I get you. Okay. If Jirachi is your active Pokemon, okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds good, but it doesn't sound like ban-worthy kind of good. I'm gonna go with no, it's not banned. And I don't know, to me this is like a 5.
5? Okay. Damn, I did not expect that answer. Why do you think it's only a 5?
I mean, because top 5 and choose 1 is not a bad
yeah, it's like a recon directive on steroids.
Yeah, but if it puts itself to sleep afterwards, you can't retreat if you're asleep, right?
Correct.
Right, so it would need a switch to get it out afterwards.
True.
And so I don't know, unless there's like something that wakes you up from sleep immediately so you can retreat or whatnot. I don't see it being the greatest thing.
Alright, I'm locking that in.
Yep.
I'm gonna show you another card immediately, right away. A tool card.
Escape bolt. Oh. Alright, yeah.
It's kind of unfair that I didn't show you this card. Feel free to read it out loud for the crowd.
I mean, yeah, it's fair enough. Escape board. The retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 colorless less, and it can retreat even if it's a parallel.
Yeah.
That's good.
So if you have like multiple Jirachis in play, you can just switch between them with the escape boards. But you are right. This card is not banned. This card is not banned. It's a crazy card. This card is so fucking good. It's a really good draw engine, and it does see meta play, but it's not banned. This is like the main draw engine for very specific decks that already want to run like escape boards and have free retreat Pokemon. I'm not going to go in depth on the whole archetype that wants to use this, but it's like one specific archetype that hella abuses this. They run like 4 Jirachi 3 escape board or something like that. Just to be able to draw through their deck. But the fact that this is 60 HP is of course like it makes it an easier target for bench sniping or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's actually a really good. I would say this card is like an 8 or something, not a 5. But it's not banned. It's not banned. I don't think this card will ever be banned unless there's very specifically maybe like a stadium that says Pokemon cannot fall asleep or something. Then it low-key might be ban worthy. But as it stands right now, this card is very good, but not banned at all.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, with that escape board, if I had known that definitely would have bumped it up to an 8 or 9.
Yeah, for certain. I didn't give you the full context, but that's like half the fun of these videos, of course.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's on me for not knowing that exists.
Well, not really. You don't know Expanded or Eternal, so it's fine. I'm not blaming you for this or whatever. All right. Yep. We got 2 more cards left in the video, but I definitely saved the spiciest ones for last. Are you ready for card number 9?
I like spicy. I'm a big fan of spicy. Let's do it.
This card is from the Sun and Moon base set, 2017.
Dragonair, 90 HP. Dragon's Wish. During your next turn, you may attach any number of hand to your Pokemon. Tail Smack for 60. Grass, Electric, and Colorless. Alright. Is this banned because of Energy Search Pro?
Energy Search Pro isn't a card that exists. I'm, of course, not gonna answer if it's banned or not. That's for you to guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it is. And I'm gonna say it's because of Energy Search Pro.
Okay. I'll keep that noted. So, what would be your rating on this card?
With the amount of energy search that we have in format, I would say it's probably like or not even in format, but I mean that have existed throughout time. I would imagine it's got to be an 8 or 9.
All right.
9. Let's go with 9.
Okay. So you think it's 9, and it's banned. It's banned. And you would be right. This card is indeed banned. And this is, in fact, alongside with 2 other cards, this card is the most recently banned card in Eternal. This card was banned when Prismatic Evolutions released. And you might be thinking, because Prismatic Evolutions is the expansion after Surging Sparks, that it was Energy Surge Pro that broke this card. But there was actually a different card, a different A-spec even, from specifically Surging Sparks that broke this. And it's Enriching Energy.
Enriching.
And you might be thinking like, oh, wait, why is it specifically Enriching Energy? Because you can only attach that like once, and then you draw 4 cards. Well, right. The reason for that is another very, very, very old set of cards, which I'm going to show you one of. Feel free to give this card a read, Holland's Electrode.
Holland's Electrode. I am aware of this one. I know that this one was a problem. Let's see, Dazzle Blast, 30 damage. The defending Pokemon is not confused. You may attach this energy. You may attach this as an energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon that already has energy attached to it. When you attach this card, return an energy card attached to that Pokemon to your hand. While attached, this card is a special energy card and provides every type of energy, but 2 energy at a time.
So what the plan is if you have a Dragonair and you've used Dragon Switch, what you can do next turn is attach a Enriching Energy to draw 4, then like attach a Holland's Electrode to bump the Enriching Energy back to your hand. You reattach the Enriching Energy to draw 4 more. You can run like 4 Holland's Electrode, and you can also run 4 Holland's Magneton and 4 Holland's Cast Form that have the same effect as this Holland's Electrode does. So I think you can see where this is going, where you can straight up on turn, I think it was turn 3, you have your whole deck in your hand, and a bunch of energy attached to a specific Pokemon. Which actually was relevant, because there's I kind of want to tell you the whole combo that someone cooked up with this and Enriching Energy. It's kind of crazy how someone came up with this. So the whole combo is, of course, I explained the first part, how you accelerate 1,000,000 energy and draw a bunch of cards. The energy targets for this would specifically be Togepi and Cleffa and Igglybuff GX tag team. So feel free and go ahead and give that GX attack a read, because the first attack doesn't really matter.
All right, 240 for a bunch of babies is wild. So we got Rolling Panic for 2 fairy and a colorless. Does 120 damage. Flip a coin so you get tails. Attack does 30 more damage for each heads. All right, and then Supreme Puff GX is 2 fairy. What's the plus?
It explains it if you read the text.
Oh, I see. Take another turn after this one, which is already busted. If this Pokemon has at least 14 extra fairy energy attached to it, in addition to this attack's cost, your opponent shuffles all bench Pokemon and all cards attached to them into their deck.
So that's what the plus means. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so what the main... So this is the second part of the 3-card combo. It's not that hard to get 16 energies on this if you have the... if you have...
that combo... That's insane, because you get to go again after this, and so you just knock out their game.
So yeah, you got this one right though. You got this one right. Dragonair is banned, specifically because of technically Enriching Energy being the one that broke the floodgates, so to say.
Gotcha.
All right, are you ready for your final card?
I'm ready for the final card.
Okay, you might have to read this card like a few times, because it's not the most intuitive. It's also a really old card. This is from Gym Challenge, so this is like the 4th ever Pokemon set released.
Okay, Lieutenant Surge's Secret Plan.
A lot of text.
Put 1 card from your hand face down onto your bench. You can't play this card if your bench is full. Treat that card as a basic Pokemon as long as it's face down. Flip the card if either player if either player ever needs to know what it is in order to use an attack, a Pokemon Power, or a Trainer card. Flip the card if it ever uses an attack or Pokemon Power, Ultra Treats is damaged by an attack or is otherwise affected by an attack. Anytime during your turn, you may flip that card over, basic Pokemon, discard it, and all the cards attached to it. That's so gimmicky.
I saved the spiciest one for last.
Yeah, that's such a shakeup to the way that the game is played. It's like Yuki.
Yeah, you might need to rack your brain for this one a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if this is like the bannable type of weird.
I don't blame you for thinking long about this one. It took me a while to understand what this card did as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of understanding it. It's kind of like a trap card kind of deal where it's like, oh, it's like you use your ability on this Pokemon, but it's not a Pokemon. It was an item the whole time. I'm gonna go with yes. It's banned, and I'm gonna say this one is a 10 because of some ambiguous card that I've never heard of.
Okay, so you're guessing 10 and banned because of lack of context.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this card is potentially like the most complicated Pokemon card ever released. I think I want to say, like ever. Not even joking.
That sounds right to me.
I think if you look at the rulings for this specific card, there's so many. There's so many edge cases where this card just seems to break or like moves on very unintuitively. But this card does have a few niche use cases, because what you can do, it doesn't explicitly say this on the card, but what you can do with this card is if you have played it face down, you can flip it over yourself whenever you want to discard it whenever you want. It doesn't say that specifically on the card because it says you need to flip the card if it ever uses an attack or Pokemon power. Right. But effectively how that would work in context of a card is saying, like, okay, I want to use a Pokemon power on this Pokemon. I'm going to flip it. Oh, it's not a Pokemon. Whoops, I lied to you. That's allowed. That card then gets discarded. Let's say it's like a fire energy or whatever. So technically, you have discard in your hand to basically say, okay, discard this one other card in your hand as an item, which might not sound like very good, which isn't necessarily very good, but it could be niche in like some situations where you need energy in your discard pile or whatever.
Yeah.
The main use for this card is specifically to bait out Gust, because when you put anything face down like that, you're kind of playing a mind game with your opponent to see like, oh, is this my most valuable basic Pokemon that I want to evolve safely, or is this like a bait to like bait out your Gust so I can evolve my other stuff safely, or is it just a double bait and it is my Pokemon? You never know. No, discard.
Yeah, it's not a supporter either, so you can.
Yeah. Having said that, this card is ass. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play this card past the year of 2001. No, this card is unfortunately terrible. I want to give this like a 2 out of 10. It's not
okay.
bad. It's not bad at all.
Okay.
There's no other card that breaks this card. But there are, okay, so technically yes, there are other cards that can break this card, but not in like the game, more like in the game not functioning type of way, rather than, oh, I win the game type of way. So
yeah.
You were pretty close on that part, but of course you could have never known. This is like a very hard card to evaluate. I just think it's a very silly card, and I wanted to show it in like one of the episodes ever, because I feel like no one would probably know this card even. Which is very funny. Hey, but you got eventually out of the 10, you got some of them right. So I'm very.
I think I had 3.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of lost count. I didn't really count at all, if I'm gonna be honest. If I'm coming clean here,
Okay.
I didn't really count past the first one that you got. But
That's
you got
more or less what I was expecting I would get, though.
Okay, so you actually did pass your expectations. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you what's your favorite card that I showed you today, besides the Munchlax, of course?
Oh man, I was gonna say the Munchlax. Let me see. I like the idea of the Dragonair. I think it's such a crazy combo with the enriching and the.
Yeah, I think.
And then the freaking babies.
Yeah.
14 extra energy. That's so wild. Yeah, that's got to be my favorite combo.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, no, Togepi Cleffa Igglybuff never saw a lot of play when it was in Standard, but it's a very fun card to occasionally be able to abuse, but it's, of course, very hard to be able to, because it's also like a 3 prize Pokemon, if you don't combo exactly with it, it's just like, oh, my opponent takes 3 prizes and I'm fucked, you know. That type of deal.
It does also make me very sad to see that in the one scenario where Tatsugiri EX could pop off, they banned it.
I mean, they banned it because it did pop off. It was absolutely nutty.
It deserves to pop off. It
has popped off. It has Girl Boss too close to the sun, as we call it. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Please like, subscribe, comment. Go subscribe to Chef Husky as well. He has some pretty amazing content, if I do say so myself. This is gonna be it from us right now. I hope you enjoyed this. I definitely did enjoy this today. But I'm gonna say goodbye to you now, chat, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!
Thank you all for watching.